And we are recording. Okay, so let's do some questions. First question I got is 12.227/6. 12.227/6. Okay, table shows the stop selling, blah, 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 blah. Frequency considered with the first class of 18 to 24. So there's the first class. Okay, I'm looking over the question. Okay, well, you can click this and go to Excel spreadsheet. There's the Excel spreadsheet. We'll get to this eventually. I'm not going to worry about that right now. All right, let's go ahead and do our 18 to 24. First thing you need to do is count 18 to 24. 18 to 24. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the class width is equal to 7. So that means I'm going to add 7 on each side. 7 plus 18 is 25. 7 plus 24 is 31. 31 plus 7 is 38. 25 plus 7 is what? 32. 32 plus 7 is 39. 38 plus 7 is 45. 39 plus 7 is 46. 45 plus 7 is 52. 46 plus 7 is 53. 52 plus 7 is 59. 53 plus 7 is 60. And 59 plus 9, or 59 plus 7 is 66. Now you just got to do the number of vehicles. 18 to 24. So we're going to pull up our handy dandy Excel spreadsheet. There it is. So, number of type vehicles. Well, 18 to 24. Well, I'm going to put these in order by B. Email. By column B. Data, sort by column B. Column B. All right, 18 to 24. How many types of vehicles we got? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, Hubert. Thank you, class. Where's my spreadsheet? Supposed to show me my spreadsheet. You have a work email. All right, what's the next? Hold on a second. Getting irritated. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the question. There we go. Now pull up the spreadsheet. There. 25 to 31. Four. Next. 32 to 38. None. Next. 39 to 45. None. $46 to 52. 3. 3 types. Next, 53 to 59. None. And next, 1. Good job. Now, of course, you can look at the side over here. I'm just going to, that's going up. I mean, you start up here and you go down, down, up a little bit, then down. So it's going to be, so which one's up at the beginning? Let's see. And looks like this again. That's it. I like the first part as a test question. These two pretty much are the same thing. That's the bar graph and that's the line graph. Everybody good on that one?
Yep.
Oh, we pick up somebody else? Looks like we picked up somebody. Mr. Henry, did we pick up Mr. Henry? Yep, we sure did. All right, next question. 12.233/8. 12.233/8. Use the frequency polygon to answer A through E. The number of calls that responded in 5 minutes are, make it bigger a little bit. 5 minutes would be right here. Or let's see. Response time, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes to figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 minutes. 6 is right here. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. All you're doing is finding points on a graph. Number of calls.
That one's 6 minutes or less.
Oh, 6 minutes or less. Okay. So 6 minutes, 5, 6. So that's 6. Let's see. That's 3, 6. That's 9 plus 5. 14. 1 is 15. So it should be 15 calls. You got to add them together. Should be. The number of calls in the survey. Well, now you got to add them all up. I'm not going to add 0 because I think y'all all can add 0. So 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17. 17 plus 9 is 26. 26 plus 7 is 33. 33 plus 3 is 36. And 0. So I say 36. Okay. How many had response times of 3 minutes? 3 minutes, there was 2. I'm sorry, 1. 4 minutes. 4, there was 5. 5 minutes, 6. 6 minutes, 3. 7 minutes, 2. 8 minutes, 9. 9 minutes, 7. And 10 minutes, 7. No. Wait a minute. 9 was 7, and 8, or they just, wait a minute. That's right. 10 right here is 3. And what does that look like? Well, it goes up, then down, then up, then down. So which one goes up and down, up and down? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Up and down. I think it's C. Nope. It's up, then down, then up. Okay, maybe I needed to look at it better. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good test questions right there. I got a question on that one. Okay, y'all are very talkative today. 12.3, 47/11. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, okay, we got to talk about quartiles. I'm going to do this on the Excel spreadsheet because it's easier to show you. So I'm going to, oh, it won't let me copy it in the Excel spreadsheet. So I got to copy it. I got to do it by hand. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to use a calculator also. So first, I'm going to pull it up in the Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to copy it in there. I'm going to go right here and type them in. 260, 300, 330, 360, 410, 440, 440, 460, 490, 530, 540, 570, 590, 600, 610, 610, 640, 660, 680, 680, and 730. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just show y'all how to do 12.4 also. So I'm going to copy all these into another spreadsheet. You go ahead and keep typing them in or punch them in your calculator. Copy. I'm just going to get rid of this one and open up a new Excel spreadsheet. Okay, I don't know why it's staying open because I already got out of it twice. Whatever. All right, so I'm going to put those in. There they are. First thing you want to do is put them in order, which they should be in order. I'm just going to check right quick. Yep, they're in order. Now, I'm going to show you how to find, this is 12.3 and 12.4, okay? This is it. Mean, median, mode, range, mid-range, variance, and standard deviation. We're also going to find those things that they asked you for. The mean, quartile, first quartile, the second quartile, the third quartile, and the max. Now the good thing is the second quartile is equal to the median. Okay, so it's going to be equal to that guy. And the mean, well, that's equal to that guy. And the max is equal to this guy. So we got those. That doesn't take much thinking there. Let's make that color. And make that color. And that color is going to be that burnt orange. And that's equal to that burnt orange. Okay. Now, how do you find the mean? Well, the mean, and y'all been doing this ever since you've been in grammar school, the mean is equal to, the mean is called the average. It's also called X bar. It's also called mu. Okay, all of those mean the same thing. Okay, and that's equal to the summation of X over N. You add up all the numbers and then divide by the number of items that you added up. And y'all have all done this with your grades in high school and college and test grades. You add them all up and divide by how many tests you've had. So that's how you find the mean. Think of test grades, average of your test grades. That's what you're doing. The median. The median is the middle. When n is odd, you just pick it. Count down, find the middle, and that's the median. When n is even, you have to find the middle two terms. The middle two terms, add them together, and divide by 2. And we're going to do that here in a minute so you can write it down as an example. Mode. What shows up? The what? The most. Exactly. You can have more than one mode. This is observed. It's not calculated. You can have more than one. Mean, median, mode, range. Range is equal to your big number minus the min, the small number. And the mid-range is equal to the max plus the min divided by 2. Now, I would say probably some of y'all have seen this before. There may be a few of you that never had probability and statistics. But that's how you find those guys. Okay, and we'll go through and do that with this problem that we're doing right now. But I need to show you, the formula for the variance and the standard deviation. Variance is equal to the summation of x minus x bar quantity squared divided by n minus 1. And then the standard deviation is equal to the square root of the variance, or the variance raised to the 1/2 power. I'm going to give everybody a minute to make sure you got all that written down. Of course, Ms. Hatton comes in whenever she wants to, so she's already missed.
I just got out of the lab.
What?
I said I had a lab on Mondays, every other Monday.
Okay, well, I don't care about your lab. My class is priority.
Gotcha.
What class you got a lab in?
ECD 102 for early child development.
Early childhood, they don't rate. Okay? The children don't rate. Math rates. Okay? Just make sure you treat your kids to hate America. That's all you do. Just make sure they hate America. Shut up, Hubert. Shut up, Hubert. Shut up. Okay. So, Miss Hatton, I'm giving, these are the formulas for 12.4. And the reason we're starting on 12.4, one of the homework questions that was sent is kind of touching on 12.3/12.4. So I went ahead and started 12.4. That's why. Now I can tell you right now that 80% of your test for this unit, for chapter 12, okay, 80% of any questions that I use from chapter 12 is going to come from this page right here. Okay. So if I gave you a separate test on chapter 12, 8 questions out of 10 or 16 questions out of 20 would be from right here? What's the most important? Well, if I'm looking at y'all and saying that y'all might be here in Math 120 next semester, the most important is these two guys, along with the mid-range and the standard deviation. Okay, so those are very important. Well, Hubert, the question that you brought up was talking about the quartiles. Yeah, I'm going to get into that. But I got to do the math. I got to do this before we can do the quartiles. So I don't understand why they would put, well, no, really they should put this before the quartiles, because the second quartile is the median. I mean, yeah, the second quartile is the median. So anyway, I started the problem, and here is the problem. There's the problem right here. So Miss Hatton, you need to write down those numbers right quick, or put them in your calculator. I'll show you how to do that right quick. I'm going to make this centered, and I'm going to blow it up a little bit. There you go. Well, yeah, that's good enough. That last number is 730. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the handy dandy calculator. And I want you to hit stat. If you want to learn how to punch this in, hit stat and edit. That's just like saying open up a spreadsheet. Here's your spreadsheet. And I'm going to type these in: 260, 300, 330, 410, 440, 440, 460, 490, 530, 540, 570, 590, 600, 610, 610, 640, 660, 680, 680, and 730. Okay, we're going to come back to that later, because right now I'm going to show you by hand how to find. And the reason I said by hand, I'm going to show you on the spreadsheet. Okay, and I want to make these a little bit smaller. Well, that's not what I wanted to do, but I guess that's good enough. There we go. Okay, now I want to find the mean. So I need to add all these numbers up and divide by 20, right? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I thought there was 20. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I'm going to add them up and divide by 21. Now, if you want to use the Excel spreadsheet, you hit the summation button right here, and I'm not showing you how to use Excel. If you already know how to use it, then I'm talking to you. If you don't know how to use it, then you need to write down what I'm doing on a notebook paper. Add all those up, and when you add them up, you're going to get Pretty big number. $10,930. And you're going to divide that by 21. That is your mean. Equals. Oh. Okay, so I just did that for you. And most of y'all know how to find the mean because you've been finding your average of your, you've been finding the average of your test scores since what, 6th, 7th grade? Yes, Hubert. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Somebody sent me a message and asked me a question. I sent it right back to them. Sorry about that. All right. So does anybody not know how to find the average? Everybody should know how to find that. Add them all together, divide by how many? The mean. Well, we got 21, right? 21 is odd. So I've just got to find that 11th number. The middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, why did I just pick 11? Why didn't I calculate anything? Because n is odd. And when n is odd, what do? When n is odd, you just find the middle and you pick it. So 21, you count down 10 numbers, the 11th number is the center. Mode. Well, I really don't care about the mode, but which number shows up the most? When I see 440 shows up, 440's got 2. 610 has 2. And 680 has 2. So there's 3. I don't forgot them. 440, 610, and 680. Everybody got it? Range. You take the highest number and you subtract the lowest number. And again, got everything written right here. Whatever. Try to show y'all everything I can. It's just not working with me. Things I do for y'all. Okay. Mid-range. Mid-range is equal to the highest plus the lowest divided by what? By 2. Now, how do you find the variance? I want everybody to take your handy dandy highlighter, and I want you to highlight this formula. Because when you ask me how to find the variance, I'm going to come back with you and say, read the formula. And you're going to go, huh? I'm going to say, read the formula. Well, I don't know it. Well, that's why you're asking the question. You got to read the formula because the formula tells you what to do. So if somebody tell me what that formula is telling me to do, and you know with any math formula or algebra formula, what do? You work your way inside out, right? So somebody tell me what's the first thing that we need to do with that formula telling us what to do? What's the first thing we need to do?
Subtract.
Subtract what from what?
Whatever X and X is.
Okay, well, look what I wrote on that page right here. What is X bar?
The average.
The average, it's the mean, right? So I've got to subtract the mean from each one of my numbers. Write that down, that right there. I'm going to take my handy dandy. I don't have a color that can penetrate that yellow, so I'm just going to use black. That right there, I've got to subtract the mean from each number. So let's take it back to the handy dandy spreadsheet. So I'm going to call this, I'm going to insert a row here. And I'm going to call this X. So this column right here is going to be X minus X bar. Now, this is what you need to be putting in your notes. You don't have to draw every single one, but maybe the first, the middle, and the last, so you'll know what's going on. I take that 260 and I subtract that number right there, 260. No, I'm sorry. That number right there, 520 point blah, blah, blah. And enter. We'll make it a little bit bigger so we can get all the digits in there. And there are those numbers. I would do the first for your notebook. I would write the formula, what I'm doing, X minus X bar at the top. And then I'd write down the first, the middle, and then maybe the last number so you'll know what you actually did. And you can fill it in later. All right, let's go back to the formula, because the formula is going to tell us what to do. If I can find.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
All right, now somebody told me that we've got to subtract the mean from each of the numbers. Now what do you do? Look at that formula and tell me what do you do
Priority 1 message coming in on secured
after
channel.
you subtract the mean from each one. Each number, what do you do? Work your way inside out. Okay, y'all can't read the formula?
Multiply.
Well, multiply by doing what? Raise it to the what?
Second power.
Second power. A lot of you say, well, Hubert, how are we supposed to know that? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. What do you do with P? That's parentheses. What's E?
Exponent.
Exponent. So I'm going to raise each one of those numbers to the second power. So I'm going to call it, I'm going to do right here, X minus X bar, we got to put parentheses, X minus X bar raised to the second power. So I'm going to take that, 260 and raise it to the second power. And that's going to give me a whole number. I mean a positive. So again, I would write down the first, the last, and the middle and the last number. So you'll have it. Okay, now let's look at the formula and see what the formula tells us to do. We took X bar away from X and we squared it. Now what does that funky looking E mean? The summation, that's what that sigma, that's a capital sigma. What does that mean? Well, what did you do with your test scores when you're coming up through 7th and 8th grade? What did you do to your test scores?
Sum them.
Add them all up. Exactly. Sum them up. That's what sigma means. That funky looking E is called capital sigma or uppercase sigma. And it means add all the numbers up. So I'm going to go to my handy dandy. And I'm going to add all these numbers up. Now with the Excel spreadsheet, you do. You just take sigma and then you highlight all those numbers and hit enter. And that right there is the numerator for your variance. So if I was to go back to the formula, and if I was to calculate it by hand, then I would put 366,895, the variance is equal to 366,895, 366,895.2381, 0.2381. That's your numerator. Now, I think y'all can do this part. What's 21 minus 1? 20. And that right there, if you're doing it by hand, that right there is your variance, which I'm fixing to show you right now. I'm going to make sure y'all get both of these down. So my variance is equal to this big number right here divided by 20. And that is your variance. Now, variance is not very important in this class. Standard deviation is. Now, somebody tell me by looking at the formulas. You hear me say that a lot, don't you? Looking at the formulas. Because that's what I'm going to tell you if you ask me how to do this problem. I'm going to say, look at the formulas. What is the relationship between the standard deviation and the variance? What do you do to the variance to get the standard deviation?
Square root of the variance.
Take the square root of the variance or raise it to the 1/2 power. Same thing. I'm going to use the 1/2 power because it's easier to do, you know, in the calculator setting, is raise it to the 1/2 power rather than go trying to find the square root symbol. Okay, so I'm going to take that number that I got right here, and I'm going to raise that to the 1/2 power. Raise it to the 0.5 power. And that is your standard deviation. Now we're going to do this problem. We're going to do a problem like this. We're going to do 2 or 3 of these problems. So I don't want anybody freaking out, Miss Hatton. I don't want anybody freaking out. Because we're going to
You
do
must
it again.
already knew.
Huh?
I said, you must already know.
I've been teaching a long time, Miss Hatton. You've already dropped enough clues. All right. So 135, that's our standard deviation. Now, how in the world are we going to find the first and the third quartile? It's real simple. Where is the middle? The middle is right here. So somebody count, how many numbers do we have above that yellow box? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is 10 even or odd?
Even.
It's even. So I got to find the 2 middle numbers and divide by 2, add them up and divide by 2, and there they are. Wait a minute, hold on. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And I'm going to highlight those red. And that's going to be red. And I'm going to add those 2 numbers up. 410 plus 440 divided by 2. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my 2 middle numbers. Let me find another color. Hadn't used blue yet, so we'll use blue. You ever looked at a color and remembered something in your childhood? Okay. I guess I'm
Sorry, it takes me forever to unmute. Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. I've done that so many times. And I'm not talking about childhood like 14 or 15. I'm talking about early childhood, like when you're like 3 to 7, somewhere in there. There's certain colors that when I see the color, I remember something in my childhood. It's really weird. That number divided by 2. And there, this is called right here. You want to know what this is called? This is called 5-number summary. That's what that's called, 5-number summary. And this is called measures of center. That's what all these are called. So we'll just make that bold, center, and this is bold, center, okay. Now, I know that was kind of a big, to give you a sample, that was a big set of numbers, but I decided to kill two birds with one stone because we had to do the homework problem anyway. So that's why I just went ahead and incorporated it with how to do 12.4. It's a 12.3 question, but I turned it into a 12.4 question. Okay, so I'm going to leave this on the board for a minute just so somebody that's watching the video, for the one person that watches my videos, will know, will hit the pause button and rewind or whatever to figure out what they missed. Now, let me show you what to do on the calculator. Now, you're going to like this because calculator you don't have to work as much, and some of y'all are allergic to that. Allergic to what? Work. Where is my calculator? There it is. Now watch what I do here. Go to Stat, Calculate, First Variable Stat. L1, it automatically goes to L1 and hit Calculate. And there is your answers. Now, what to look at? Well, X bar, 528.5, that is your mean. Let's pull up the handy dandy. What is my median? I meant my standard deviation. 135. And I didn't get that. Let's check and see if I got the right answers for the 260, 425. I got something wrong. My median's wrong. Yeah, median is 540. I got 555. I got something typed in wrong or something. Does anybody see anything typed in wrong? I've got something typed in wrong. Let me go back to the original problem. Okay, and pull in my calculator. Stat, edit, 260, 300, 330. There it is, 360. I got a number missing. Second insert, 360. Now let's check it. Second, stat, calculate, first variable statistic, L1, 520.48. Let's see what mine says. 520.48. That's your X bar is your mean. I would mention a word, but if I mention the word, somebody may not like it, so I'll just say SX. SX is your standard deviation. SX is your standard deviation. Now, if your numbers don't show up like this, then you need to hit second, 0, and scroll down till you get to diagnostic. And you want to hit diagnostic on, click enter, and click enter. That tells you to turn on everything that you're capable of doing on your screen. Now, type in stat, calculate, first variable statistic, L1, calculate. And there you go. And then go down and you'll get your 5-number summary. Men, 260. Hold on, I got to get the. Men, 260. First quartile, 425. Second quartile, 540. Third quartile, 627, 25. And the max is 730. And I think we're over time. All right. Did anybody else come in? Let me check right quick. Let's see how many I've got. Let me shut off the recorder.